Hi, I'm Chris Canada, and I'm here to tell you about shooting modes. EOS cameras have various shooting modes that affect exposure. These include the creative zone modes and fully automatic modes. They are usually located on the mode dial on the top of your camera. Each of these modes tells the camera which of the various components of exposure to operate and what to leave to the shooter. Let's first look at some creative zone modes. Creative zone modes will allow you to choose which components of exposure you want to control and which ones you want the camera to control. Also, in any of these shooting modes, all of the camera's features and menu settings are available. In program mode, the camera chooses the correct shutter speed and aperture combination for your chosen scene. All other controls, such as ISO, flash, and white balance, can be set manually. The AV, or aperture priority mode, allows you to manually set the aperture size. Then, based on that setting, the camera will select the best shutter speed for a good exposure. Controlling the aperture is generally used to set the lens's depth of field. This will determine how much of the image, foreground to background, is in focus. To increase your depth of field and allow more things to be in focus, make sure you set your aperture to a higher f number. To decrease your depth of field and cause backgrounds and foregrounds to be out of focus, make sure you set your aperture to a lower number. Shutter priority mode allows you to set the shutter speed. Canon engineers refer to it as time value, hence the TV abbreviation. Shutter priority is the counterpart of aperture priority. Based upon the shutter speed selected, the camera will automatically set the best aperture for correct exposure. Controlling the shutter speed is typically used to control the appearance of motion in an image. It is measured in seconds or fractions of a second. A higher speed, such as 1/500th or 1/1000th of a second, is often used to stop action, creating a sharp image. Slower shutter speeds, such as 1/30th or 1/8th of a second, may be used to create intentional subject blur and give the appearance of motion. In manual mode, you have a complete control of exposure, selecting both aperture and shutter speed manually. This allows you to determine both settings based on shooting conditions. It also allows for more creative effects that cannot be achieved in either of the priority modes. Unlike any of the previously mentioned automatic exposure modes, once the camera is set to a specific combination of shutter speed, aperture, and ISO, exposure won't change or shift even during a continuous shooting sequence. If you are just getting started with your camera and you want to use this mode, start off experimenting with these settings and see what works. Let's now look at two basic zone modes. In full auto mode, sometimes called green zone mode, the camera automatically selects the best shooting settings for optimal quality based on subjects and environmental factors to provide point and shoot simplicity. It not only adjusts all exposure settings automatically, but also adjusts image controls like white balance, picture style, and more. For entry-level users, it's truly evolved into a smart auto setting. The automatic settings also require you to use autofocus, so the camera will pick the focus and depth of field to be used. Also, the camera will automatically pop up the built-in flash whenever it reads low light. If you don't want flash, you should change to either flash off mode or switch over to the P mode on the mode dial. There are also image zone modes, which are fully automatic. However, you can tell the camera to shoot for a certain style. For example, let's look at sports mode and portrait mode. Sports mode will automatically select faster shutter speeds to get sharper pictures of moving subjects. You could use this for shooting a fast-paced sporting event or for freezing movement like a waterfall or fountain. Portrait mode will tend to use wider lens apertures to blur backgrounds. The blurring of the background details will allow your subject to stand out from the background more. It is still fully automatic exposure, so once the mode dial is set here, just focus and shoot. Other examples of image zones are landscape, close-up, and night portrait. Thanks for watching. Be sure to watch our other videos for more great information.